Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Please subscribe.
Admitted to shooting and killing all three in cold blood. Their ages are 7, 4, and 3. We do have team coverage for you on this tragic situation. We start with WCPO 9 News reporter Sean Delancey, who is in New Richmond, where a community event is being held for the 3 children who lost their lives. Sean?
Yeah, Tanya, Pastor Robert Wooten just opened the doors here at Connection Point Church in New Richmond for anybody and everybody impacted by this unspeakable tragedy. He says when 3 little boys are senselessly gunned down, people need to be there for one another. Pastor Wooten says that this is a very loose event. There's no real plan or agenda to go by. It's just an open space for people to be together, talk through their grief, pray, whatever you need to help process what few can grapple with, the death of children. His team is right here, right now, to help guide that process. Wooten says whether you knew this family or not, if you're hurting, you are welcome here tonight.
You know, in a small community, everybody feels the pain, everybody feels the struggle, everybody feels the emotion. And I think the last night before I went to bed, I told my wife, I said, we got to do something. And it just brought me to the point where we can't just sit by idly and just, we have to act and do something.
Now, Connection Point Church here in New Richmond along Columbia Street will be open tonight as long as is necessary. So if you feel the need to be around others that can help you out, you are welcome to come on down. In New Richmond, I'm Sean Delancey, WCPO 9 News.
All right, Sean, thanks so much. Folks, this is Chad Doeman, the boy's father. He was arrested without incident yesterday. We got body camera video just hours ago showing the moment he was taken into custody. I want you to watch it.
Stand up now! Stand up! Stand up!
EMS sustains an air carrier is going to go ahead and fly whenever any units can advise.
Get your hands out here.
72.
Come on, 21. It's in the air.
You see there, Doeman did not resist once law enforcement got to the scene. He was sitting on the front porch with that rifle nearby and had little to say as he was taken to the cruiser. Claremont County prosecutors say Doeman admitted that he executed his 3 boys one by one. That evidence was presented today at Doeman's bond hearing. I-Team reporter Craig Cheatham has more on the evidence presented in court.
In court, Assistant Prosecutor David Gast said Doeman admitted to shooting and killing his 3 sons. Gast described the crimes as, quote, one of the most monstrous, craven, cowardly acts that will ever be our misfortune to see. Chad Doeman entered the courtroom wearing what one officer called a suicide vest. It was the day after prosecutors say he confessed to shooting and killing his 3 boys.
In an act of just incomprehensible cruelty, the father that stands before you lined up his 3 young boys and he executed them in his own home with a rifle.
Assistant Prosecutor David Gast said Doeman told police that one of his boys ran to a nearby field, but Doeman said he got the boy, dragged him back to the property, and killed him. Gast said Doeman also shot his wife in the hand when she grabbed the gun, attempting to save her children.
We can't name a person that poses a greater threat to the community.
The judge granted the prosecution's request for a $20 million bond. The case now goes to a grand jury. A pretrial hearing is scheduled for June 26. In Batavia, Craig Cheatham, WCPO 9 News.
A memorial, by the way, is growing for those 3 little boys tonight. People are placing stuffed animals. You can see that right here outside of their home. WCPO 9 News reporter Valerie Lyons is live now. So Valerie, you have been speaking with several people today, including a new Richmond girl who started a GoFundMe for their funerals.
Yeah, Tanya, Hazel Warren is the friend of the boy's older sister. She says she hasn't slept. She's been crying. She's heartbroken. When she heard what happened, she tells me all she wanted to do was help.
It just really hurts more to know them and what happened.
It's difficult for Hazel Warren to find the words. Understandable when what happened was unimaginable.
They were definitely like the cutest I've ever seen. They were all just like a little pack.
3 little boys, just 3, 4, and 7, shot and killed in their front yard. Their own father, 32-year-old Chad Doeman, accused of pulling the trigger. Warren says it didn't take long for her to launch a fundraiser for the rest of the family, her best friend and her mother, who must now find a way to move on.
Hope that everything will be like okay for them.
We're told the mother was shot in the hand as she tried desperately to stop Doeman from shooting her sons, and that their sister ran down the street yelling for help. They weren't in court Friday morning when Doeman faced a judge, appearing to break down at one point as prosecutors laid out the grisly details.
I didn't notice him. I didn't look at him. I think he's a coward, and that was probably an act. If you wanted to make me guess, that's an act.
An hour before, New Richmond School Superintendent Tracy Miller shared his heartbreak as grief counselors rallied behind a community left shattered.
This impacts everybody, but when everybody's impacted, everybody's going to pull together and make sure that we get to the other side of this mountain.
Hours later, a memorial grew in honor of the little boys. Teddy bears left on the edge of the driveway. A glimmer of comfort and hope.
They are all so sweet and so cute.
A reminder of 3 little lives lost.
Their bedtime was like 8 o'clock, and they would all come in and like individually, they'd all tell me good night.
Little teddy bears themselves, Tanya. Now, we will have a link to Hazel Warren's GoFundMe on our website. There are also a few others floating around out there. We'll have links to those as well. And just a reminder, right here in the Claremont County Jail sits 32-year-old Chad Doeman, confessed, prosecutors say, to shooting and killing his 3 young sons yesterday. For now, live outside the Claremont County Jail, Valerie Lyons, WCPO 9 News.
Valerie, sometimes it's just overwhelming to think about this story. Thank you for that. Our team coverage, by the way, is not over. WCPO 9 News at
Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Please subscribe.